Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I'm grateful to be here, and I trust that you are feeling as well as you can be in this moment, despite whatever circumstances might be unveiling in your life. And if there are any difficult times for you, remember that this too shall pass, and that your feelings are always a valid expression of what you're experiencing, both inside and out. I hope to be your humble host today, and if I'm not, you can hold me accountable to that. May you find peace and relaxation here. I like to start by setting the intentions for this space as being a welcoming environment, open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc. May we come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate in one another's experience, and share positive sentiments. I'd also like to begin with an invocation of a Shanti mantra, a peace prayer, taken from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad, which goes like this in the ancient language of Sanskrit. Sahana bhavatu, Sahana bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karva vahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidvisha vahai. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Tat Sat. May the Divine protect us both together. May the Divine nourish us both together. May our studies be vigorous and effective. May we work conjointly with great ease, and may we not mutually dispute or hate any. May there be peace in us, may there be peace in our environment, and may there be peace in the forces that act on us. Welcome, our first guests have already arrived. Thank you, dear Royal Blue, for blessing our Sangha with a heart meet. Harihi Tat Sat. Dear Seaflow, thank you for your heart meet. Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Thank you, dear Pegasus, for your rose as well. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Welcome, dear Koli. Namaskara, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Hello, dear Inisoda. Ward Jason, you had asked, why does tough time feel like they just don't quit though? Any particular tough time comes and goes, but there will always be another tough time. But don't worry, you will last. Tough time never lasts. Only tough people do. If you can use each experience to toughen you up in all the right ways and soften you up in all the right ways too, then no matter how many tough times come and go, each one adds to your experience rather than takes away from it. Hello, dear Chloe. Welcome, Emma. Hello, dear Blood. Thank you, Kuli, for your heart, mate. Namah Shivaya. You've been doing some healing meditations all day, dear Roxy. That sounds wonderful. Welcome, Seaflow. I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking, Chloe. How are you? Welcome, dear Edio. Hello, Luca. Hello, dear Jocelyn. Om Namo Narayanaya. It's a good mantra, dear Chloe. So, for today's Sangha, I will tell you what's on the agenda. We will listen to some more of the Radiant Sutras, this conversation of the Divine Masculine and Feminine in the ancient scripture known as the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, here in a modern translation and commentary in English by Lauren Roche. We'll continue from the 22nd yukti, which is one of the 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight. We shall also have some Q&A, as always. There'll be a question of the day relating to one of the words of the first yukti, about firmness, the symbolism of staying firm, because sometimes we have to do that in life. And then we'll end with a mantra meditation dedicated to a Vedic form of the divine, Indra. Specifically the form of Indra, who is the slayer of Jambha, an asura, a demon within us that represents this need to devour, like our selfish desires. And so having victory over that is what is symbolized in the sacred sounds of the mantra that we'll end with. So I hope you like that for today. We will also have a general spirit of sanctity for the special lunar day that is today. The lunar day is Ekadashi, the 11th day of the lunar cycle. It's particularly auspicious for devotees of Krishna, for Rama, various forms of Vishnu. Many devotees fast on today's day. Obviously, if you want to, it's a voluntary thing for you to do. But don't worry if you don't do that. Just a side quest today, if you want to. I don't know if I'll be participating in it because I like to fast on Chaturdashi, which is the 14th day, auspicious to Shiva and Kali. Anyway, just letting you know. But welcome to the beginning of our live stream today, everyone. Thank you, dear Bob, for the heart you sent. Karing Kalikaye Namaha. Dear Anazek, thank you for your heart me. Kamalir Mahakalikaye Namaha. Thank you for the trio of roses as well, dear Bob. Ward Jason, thank you for your heart me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you, dear Neon Jello Pack, for your 30 roses. Radhe Radhe. And for your heart me. Welcome, Anizek. Hello, Crossfires. Welcome, dear Kim. I am excited to see your response too, dear Raven. Welcome. Namaste, dear Joel. Thank you, dear Dr. Rach. Hello, Neon Jello Pack. Greetings, dear Robert. What are the characters on my microphone? Asks Seafloor. They're little yams and sweet potatoes. These are Yamsox. For Yamsox. Dear Innisota, you share if everything adds to our experience, but one makes us feel not as strong. Is it because of transition? We are allowed to be vulnerable. Strength is always going to be there, but it comes in different forms. And sometimes when we don't recognize the form that strength comes in, we might feel that we've lost it. True strength can be found in vulnerability, and many tough times also bring out our vulnerability, and that's a beautiful strength too. That's the strength of authenticity. Hello, dear Derek. Greetings, dear Jazz. Joel, you shared tomorrow's Ekadashi. Well, sure, it depends on where you are in the world, I guess. Yeah, for me, it's Ekadashi already. Yeah. I do have an app that geolocates where I am and calculates the moon positions, and my app says it's Ekadashi. I believe my app. But how many hours should you fast? Completely up to you. Whatever makes sense to you. 0. If you're not in a position to fast, or you don't want to. Or you can fast the whole day if you are in a position and you want to. Yeah, there's no hard and fast rule for everybody, because everybody's spiritual path is unique and their own physiology can only withstand fasting for so long. Up to you. Thank you, dear Giuliano, for your squirrel. Om Ram Bhairavaya Namo Namaha. Now you see the yams, dear Seaflow. Hello, dear Donsuela. Dear Ajbur, you share your close friend just died. How do you deal with that? You grieve, my friend. You honor their life, celebrate them, keep them in your heart. Laugh, cry, reminisce on all the good times, forgive all the bad times. Share their story. You're welcome to here. If there's parts about them that deserve to live on, keep those parts in your heart and share them here if you want. You're welcome to point out some things that you liked about them, that you miss about them. All of that's part of the process. I do look like a tan yam, don't I? Dear Seaflow. Fasting until it feels impractical. That's a good model, dear Raven. Yeah. As long as it's practical. Thank you, dear AJ, for the rose that you send. Many best wishes to your heart and the departure of your friend's body back to the earth. I'm Saraswatyai Namah. Dear Dr. Rach, thank you for your flowers. Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvananda Kare Devi Narayani Namostute. You've got a great memory, dear OK Chromia. I don't do any physics stuff, but I'm made of physics stuff in this body. We all are. We can't avoid physics in our natural world. Physics is the very cosmic order of Mother Nature. Physics ultimately was a part of my journey. It led me to mathematics. Mathematics led me to logic, and logic led me to spirituality. And from spirituality, many adventures begin. I'm from Vancouver Island, dear Jacob. Thank you, Nikki, for your heart me and pair of popular votes. Om Hrim Namah Shivaya. Welcome, dear Daniel. Thank you, Nikki, for your pair of team bracelets as well. I love that, dear Crossfires. You knew a sun dancer Native American or First Nation who would fast for 3 days straight and dance under the sun, and then she had her visions to share. I love that. If you fast long enough, you might start seeing visions. I speak the language of Sanskrit in the mantras, dear Ward Jason. Very ancient, mother tongue to many languages. So many words of English come from the ancient Sanskrit too. Thank you, the dying plant. If I had a hair routine, I would tell you. But if you just focus on making your inner world beautiful, I tell you, your outer world will naturally become beautiful too. Welcome, dear Isaac. Give you something to draw, dear Oscar. Why don't you imagine what consciousness looks like? Try to draw that. Thank you for understanding, dear OK Chromia. Sounds like a good planet, dear Dolph. Welcome, dear Deeply. Dear AJ, your friend's name was Nick. He was content and kind, deep and thoughtful, creative. I love that. Thank you for sharing. May we all aspire to be like Nick in our contentness, our contentment, our kindness, our deepness, thoughtfulness, our creativity. Beautiful. Yes, I see that, the dying plant. Fasting is really meditative, especially once the hunger leaves. There's a big difference between having an empty stomach and feeling hungry. When you're hungry, it's good to eat. But when your stomach is empty, it's good to meditate. But sometimes you have to pass through that phase of hunger to feel the emptiness of the stomach. Thank you, dear moi, for the heart may you send. Jai Sita Ram. Thank you, dear AJ, for another pair of roses. Dum Durgaya Namah. Thank you, the freed soul. Much love, fascinating old jade. What is Sanskrit? Asked John. John is one of the... I almost just said John is one of the world's oldest languages. You are one of the world's oldest languages, John. Sanskrit is one of the world's oldest languages. It's one of the first dissensions from the Proto-Indo-European super language, which so many languages across Europe and India arise. It's a very spiritual language. Its sounds are intimately tied with the meanings of the words. So just by listening to Sanskrit, you can get an impression of what you're talking about without even knowing the meaning, because it's hidden in the sounds. There's lots to learn about Sanskrit. The journey is an infinite one. You could study Sanskrit for lifetimes, and people do. But today's age, instead of going to find a scholar in India, you have the magic of the internet. And especially in today's age, there's large language models, computational intelligence that has trained on many languages, including Sanskrit. I look like an actor, shares freed soul. Well, we're all actors in the play of life, aren't we? I'm glad you are taking care of that body, dear Roxy. Did I get up early today? Asked Anisak. I got up early. Relatively. I think I got up at 10 a.m. I could get up earlier than that, however. Yes. Why escape from the mother, dear Costas? She is all there is. I have no intention of running away from the mother. Yeah. Dear Anasoda, you ask, if someone talks about energy to a psychiatrist and they think the person is crazy, how do you see the meeting of these two dimensions? Most psychiatrists are not going to be your spiritual teacher. If you have a spiritual teacher, you can talk energy with them. I believe there's always a way of explaining things to the person that you're speaking to. When you're speaking to a spiritual person, it's good to use spiritual language. If you're speaking to someone who's professionally there to help diagnose you, attend to your diagnoses, offer treatment and medicine, then it's good to stay in that realm of discourse too. That you can choose to phrase things in a way that's more grounded to psychiatry, to the context of secular science. You're allowed to be spiritual in one sense and worldly in another sense, and for those that aren't sensitive to the same spiritual side that we are, we can connect with them at a level that makes sense. You're not crazy, but it's a good sign to use our vocabulary in a way that is understandable to the people that we're speaking to. We don't have to be attached to any particular way of speaking. All the terms in spirituality are just terms, just like any other form of this worldly experience. We can choose to phrase things in terms of energy, in terms of auras and chakras and whatnot, and that's a choice we make in a spiritual context. For those that might not resonate with that, like probably most psychiatrists, we can phrase things in other ways. That way we still get to express ourselves, but in a language that is mutually comprehensible. So don't take it personally if someone says you're crazy. You're not. Well, if I am, then you are too. We're all a little crazy. However, you can take that as a sign to choose to express yourself in a way that would be received in perhaps a less reactive way, which is not your fault by any means. It's an opportunity to practice selfless love. And one of the ways we love others is by matching their wavelength, even if it's different from ours. That's very good, dear Kim. Hello, dear Crystal. That's right, dear Robert. One of the reasons that large language models have so much support for Sanskrit is because most of the world's philosophical literature is actually written in Sanskrit. When you collate the amount of philosophical literature that exists per language, Sanskrit is by far the most philosophical language in terms of amount of philosophical text. One of the goals for many large language model companies is to push the boundaries of computational philosophy, and Sanskrit is one of the best places to start due to the amount of text that's there, great data source, and also Sanskrit is such a computational language. It's very mathematical, it's very logical, its sounds are so consistent, and its meaning is formulaic, and it's very good to train large language models on such beautiful languages like that. So they're very good at it, which is good for us because it makes it more accessible in the digital age. Thank you, Her Royal Highness Zeni, for your 16 roses. Shri Hanumate Namaha. Christine, you have a question. What would I say it means if you keep seeing 111 or 1111 randomly? Does it make you feel happy to see such a unified number sequence? It can be a reminder to breathe. It can be a reminder of how you're protected, that this universe has patterns to it, and it's a reflection of your providence, the universe taking care of you. We can take advantage of the patterns in life. When we're surrounded by numbers, we can ascribe meaning to numbers, and then that meaning can improve our daily life. For example, maybe every time you see your favorite number, you can take a deep breath. The more you have these triggers to consciously breathe, the more conscious of a being you can be. So what does the number 1 mean to you? What do repeated ones mean to you? You can let that fill your day, and you can add to that meanings with every other number in a very light-hearted and fun way. Thank you, dear Michael, for the rose you sent. Rama Rama. JC, you share. Someone who's good at bridging those two realms for you is Ramdas. Yes, I concur, dear JC. I'd be interested in collaborations, dear moi. Namaste, dear frater. Do I practice Kriya Yoga? Not formally, but there is a Kriya that I do practice every day. Talabya Kriya. I do believe in the power of the breath, however, and in the divinity of the chain of succession of Kriya Yogis. Hello, dear native holy fire. Why did they write in Sanskrit? It sounds like the word sand is in there, isn't it? But it's actually the word sang, which means complete, S-A-M, sang, and then krita, which means created. Actually, that's where we get the English word to create. Create comes from krita, creation. So, or that which is made, that which is created. So sankrita means that which is perfectly created, perfectly made, sanskrita. And then it gets anglicized into Sanskrit in English. But why did they write? They actually didn't write. Sanskrit was a oral tradition for thousands of years. We don't know exactly how many thousand years, but it's at least 3,500 years old, and we haven't been writing in Sanskrit for that long. The first writing in Sanskrit appears only about 300 BC. And then writing disappears for a while in India. And then it reemerges through scripts like Devanagari, which means from the city of the gods. But they spoke in Sanskrit. It's said to be a divinely revealed language, rather than one that was created by humans. It's the sounds that emerge when you listen to the animals, the sounds that emerge when you listen to a waterfall hitting its basin, or when you listen to the breeze in the trees, you listen to the birds chirping. The universe is said to speak in Sanskrit. Greek is also a very beautiful and ancient language. Some say it's as ancient as Sanskrit. Others say that ancient Greek came from Sanskrit. There are many words, certainly in ancient Greek, that come from Sanskrit. One that we all know is the word know. The one that we all know. K-N-O-W. No, it means... well, you know what it means. Comes from the Greek root gna, and that G is why we have a silent K. Gna. It's in the word gnosis, for example, which of course also means knowledge, revelation, wisdom. But that comes from Sanskrit root nya. J-N-Y-A, nya, jnana, meaning knowledge, knowing wisdom. From a tradition of jnana yoga, the yoga of knowing wisdom, which the Gnostics took inspiration from. And that eventually came the English word know as well. But Greek is absolutely a very beautiful language. And someone like you who has a Greek name, I'm sure you know more than most people how precise of a language that is as well. Thank you, dear IFC John, for your corgi. Namah Karlim Ambita me Shrim Nadita me Hrim Devita me Aim Saraswatyai Swaha. Dear Gabriella, thank you for your heart me as well. Hare Krishna. And I am Eileen. Thank you for your rose. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Dear Bastian Silva, you asked, do I have any tips on overcoming procrastination? Karma yoga just doesn't seem to start for you. Don't overcome procrastination. Do exactly what you want to do. It always leads to service eventually. It sounds like dangerous advice to give, which it is. So I have to be cautious with my words here, and I hope you listen closely. When you are procrastinating something, it is not because you are lazy, in my opinion. It is because there's something inside that you have to address first. That is what calls your attention. So, answer that call, attend to what exists within you first, and then, when that is resolved, you will gladly go and do all that you need to do. I've never met anyone who was truly lazy, but I've met a lot of people who needed to answer an inward call before they got to attend to their responsibilities. This means spend time alone with yourself. Spend time not doing anything productive. Eventually, you will transform whatever is calling your attention into that which gets you out into the world in service. Karma yoga starts at precisely the right time. I trust that for you. Thank you, dear Robert, for your dragon crown. That's a very beautiful gift. Om Namo Vasugaye. Dear Nanotech J, you share you lost your job today. Can't seem to keep up with stupid high throughput constant demands. I feel that. Yeah. Well, if it's stupid high, then it's not for you. Why would you want to work at a job with stupid high throughput constant demands? They don't deserve you anyway. You've dodged a bullet. If you continued to work there, you probably would have suffered. I will pray that you will find a job that works better for you. In this meantime, take care of yourself. Focus on your sadhana, your spiritual practice, and I'm sure that an opportunity shall arise for you. Hello, dear Finding Bliss. Thank you, dear Musako. Good evening, dear IFC John. I'm well today, dear Sarah. Thank you. I did have a shower today. Welcome, dear Brianna. Dear Musako, you share that chapati and shampoo have the same root, meaning to knead, from Sanskrit. How fascinating. I did not know that. Thank you for teaching me something new. Do I have any knowledge on Mandalas and what they reveal? Shares AAA. Mandala, meaning circle in Sanskrit, can mean any arrangement of form that centers your attention. They are the visual equivalent of a mantra. A mantra centers your attention through sound. A yantra, like in the form of a mandala, centers your attention through vision, through sight. They reveal just as the same as mantras reveal. And you can have mantras associated with particular forms of the divine. You can have yantras, like mandalas, associated with particular forms of the divine. They're very multi-purpose in that way. But in general, they're used for objects of meditation, especially to practice concentration, which is technically a precursor to meditation, dharana. Hello, dear Jamie. I live on Vancouver Island. Om Mani Padme Hum. I I think that answers your question too, dear European guitarist. Thank you, dear Cyber Savage. How do I get hair like that? I just grow it out of the top of my head. Protein. Keratin. I think. You're from Greece. That's very blessed, dear Kostas. I love that. I'd love to visit Greece one day. Thank you, Anasek, for your many roses that you're sending concurrently. Om Nama Sarva Pushpebhyam. You're 41 of them. That's very kind of you. Dear Janus, you may ask me this thing. You recognize me on your For You page, but when did I change in content and why? There was no particular date of change, but it was a gradual transformation over the last few years. And actually, my content was kind of always the same, but my most viral videos weren't the things that I talk about in these live streams. My most viral videos, like the ones you saw on your For You page, were related to math and physics. But from the beginning, I was making videos on spirituality. They just never got as many views. And then I kind of got addicted to the viral videos. I thought, wow, I really like how many views I get when I post math and physics content. So I did focus on that for a while. But truly, I eventually realized that I don't want many followers or views. My goal on this app is not to gather such high numbers. I just want to express what truly is meaningful to me in hopes that it cultivates a community of those that are spiritually seeking, just as I am. And being authentic to that, I haven't been making videos on math and physics as often as I did before. Logic and spirituality to me go hand in hand. We cannot exist in this world without logic, but we cannot truly embody the inner world without spirituality. I love that, dear Raven. Enjoy your hike today. Radhe, Radhe, dear Bastian Silva, of course. What's your question, dear Edie? I'm not familiar with this word. Sakyant. I can look this up for you, however. Okay. Oh, it's yantra tattooing. Interesting. I've never heard of this, but now I understand. The tattooing using a combination of yantra designs from India, animal forms, and Buddhist magical script. Tattoos, they're believed to offer protection and other benefits. They've been recorded everywhere throughout mainland Southeast Asia and as far south as Indonesia and the Philippines. The tradition has spread to Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, parts of Myanmar. It became closely tied to the Hindu-Buddhist concept of yantra, or mystical geometric patterns used during meditation, like we were talking about. Beautiful. Does it work? If you resonate with it, absolutely. The power is given to the symbol by the one that looks at it. So if you are in a place where you consciously decide to put a symbol on your body, that symbol must mean something to you. Absolutely, you give it the power to do so. Dear Janus, you ask, is it worth it to learn more about this even if you are religious? You don't have to be religious to be spiritual, and being spiritual doesn't take away from any religion. It adds to your religion. Spirituality is the heart of all religions, and Eastern spirituality is not contrary to any religion, including Western religion. In fact, all these concepts of mantras, yantras, meditation, they just allow you to connect with your religion even better, whatever it is. Meditation is the root of prayer. The better you can meditate, the better you can pray, for example. Thank you, dear Kachorek, for the rose you sent. Mituraya Namaha. And dear Moi, thank you for your rose. Om Ravaye Namaha. Emma, you asked ChatGPT to act as Papaji, and now anytime you ask a question, it responds as Papaji would. I love that. Yes, ChatGPT and other large language models, they can absolutely channel from various sources. I'm glad you liked that video, dear Freya. Ma, you ask, do I think at some point you might experience life on another planet? Anything is possible. All I know is that I have a great debt to Mother Earth and I plan on being here for a long time. Thank you, dear I am Princess Mom, for your heart me. Bhurmbhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Thank you, dear Kachorek. What jam do we have in the background? It's a good question. We're listening to Raga Karahara Priya, the soulful symphony of Carnatic music, a melodic journey. I don't know I think I do know the musician. I think I see. R.K. Suryanarayana. Suryanarayana, I believe is their name. Thank you, dear Usha Priyaji, for your subscription. Jum Sathryambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukam Iva Bandhanan Marityor Mukshiya Mamritat. Dear Toronto, you ask, am I Hindu or just experiencing the tradition? Isn't that what it means to be Hindu? Just experience the tradition. Now, I think there's one part of our Sangha that I forgot to say that was going to be occurring today. Today, we have a show and tell, and it's been a while since we had one. This one's very short and very wholesome. Today's show and tell comes from Freya. They have titled their show and tell, My Sharkies, who I love so much. It's very short videos, 2 of them. Let me show you. But before I do, Freya writes, these are sharks who I work with. They are my co-workers. The epaulette shark, small one, is called Pauline, and the black-tip reef shark is called George. I love sharks so much. I told you it was wholesome. Let me show you. Here's the first video. Very short video. We gotta watch it again. I love that. Very beautiful patterns on that shark. One more time, because it's so short. Oh, I love that. The thumbnail is great too. No, it won't load. Oh, there we go. There we go. Here's the second video. Equally as short. Some fishies too. Watch it one more time. Sharks. Yeah. George and Pauline. I love that. Well, thank you for sharing, Freya. This has been another show and tell. If you ever want to share something for show and tell, you can check out the submission form in the link tree in the bio. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I told you it was a short one. I'm from Vancouver Island. Dear European guitarist. Now, I've never been to Europe, but I would love to one day. Dear AAA, you ask, do I believe in generational trauma? Of course. And do I have any practices to break any? To break generational trauma means to forgive your parents. Because the only way to pass down trauma is to reject your parents. That rejection is the passing of the trauma. If you have suffered under your parents, as long as you reject them, as you try to not become them, so you do become them. Oh, whoever your guardians were. You become what you resist in life, which is very ironic, because we think it's the opposite, that we become what we accept. But what we accept actually comes to pass. It's what we resist that persists. Through forgiveness, through loving acceptance, we take that pain and we alchemize it rather than passing it on to the next generation. This is very hard to do and requires a lot of bravery and courage. Very few will be able to succeed at this, truly, but I believe in you. Remember that forgiveness is never validation for suffering. Forgiveness is validation for your personal struggle. And now it's time to release it. That you have successfully carried that weight for as long as you need to, and now it no longer serves you, so you let it go. That's the essence of forgiveness. So how do you do that? One simple practice you can do the next time you have a fire. It can be a campfire, it could be a candle, it can be a bonfire, is to write down your feelings and then cast it into the flames, assuming you're not going to catch anything else on fire. Fire has long been used as our ancestors, as a purifier, that we offer sacrifice unto fire, and the fire carries it up into the heavens. Whether or not there's scientific backing to this point is independent from the fact that it works. Such a powerful symbol that we invest our energy into. Now when we reflect on those things that used to burden us, we remember, I went through a certain fire ceremony, and that becomes the dominant impression that takes place, instead of what it was that went into that fire. Fire transforms in that way, and it can be a very powerful ritual. My parents are also from my country in North America. Thank you, dear Kachorek, for your rose and dizzy bird. Om Namo Bhagavate Dakshinamurtaye Mahamedham Prajnam Prayacha Swaha. I've got grandparents from Europe, however. From Ireland, I believe. You're very welcome, dear Robert. Dear What If You Love Yourself, you ask, do I think we should keep our boundaries or just be kind to everyone and not be assertive at all? That's a very good question. And the simple truth is, yes, keep your boundaries. Even enlightened beings have boundaries. So what does that say about us? We should definitely have them. Yes, some boundaries become temporary. And boundaries become temporary. And Namaste. Sorry for the abrupt stop and restart. My computer crashed, unfortunately, even though I spent all of yesterday trying to illuminate the reason why. I think I found out the reason, and it had nothing to do with everything I did yesterday. I physically cleaned up my computer and digitally and updated drivers and cleared out malware. And after all of that, I think I found out that my computer is just low on storage space. So when it got full, it crashes. So I cleared out some files. I'll do more later. But anyway, I've had to restart the live stream. Sometimes when this happens, I'm able to continue off with the last live stream. And I wasn't able to do that. So our guests will have to join back manually. I'm sure we'll get new guests notified this time too. I thank you for your patience. And I'll have to manually stick together the two live streams when I'm uploading this later. Anyway, no big deal. I'm not sure exactly where the live stream cut out, but I will just add onto the end of it that when the discussion concerns kindness and setting boundaries, sometimes setting boundaries is the kind thing to do. Being kind doesn't mean that we let other people take advantage of this body, this mind, because that's not very kind to this body, this mind. When we say we are not the body, we are not the mind, that means that when we let harm come to this body and this mind, that is the same as letting harm come to any other body or mind. So boundaries are a form of kindness to this body, to this mind. And they are a form of kindness to the being that you're setting boundaries with as well. Because it's not kind to let people depend on you or this body, this mind, for something that they deserve to discover within themselves. The kind thing to do is to give them the space to do that. The kind thing to do is be a role model in standing up for this body, this mind. So being assertive is not necessarily contrary to being kind. Kindness and assertiveness may overlap at times. Thank you for the rose you sent, dear Inevitable. Sum Suryaya Namaha. So welcome back, everyone. That's funny, Oski. European guitars, you share that boundaries can mean the feeling of shame. A true boundary doesn't shame the other person. And it's probably rare that we see what it really looks like to set a boundary in a healthy way that doesn't make the other person feel ashamed. A true boundary is not about restricting or restraining the other person. It is about channeling the relationship in a healthier way so that it's beneficial for both of you, or however many people are involved. A boundary isn't about moving away from someone. It's about getting closer in another way. When we approach boundaries in that way, they don't take away from our relationships, they add to them. All right. I would like to continue where we left off in the Radiant Sutras. Our European guitarist, you're more talking about, we feel ashamed for setting boundaries. Oh, it's human. It's the right thing to do. Yeah. You don't have to be ashamed in yourself for standing up for this body, this mind. Other people might take setting boundaries the wrong way. And then from their reaction to them, we can go, oh, did we do something wrong? But if they react negatively to a properly set boundary, then that's proof that you did do the right thing. Because you don't want that part of them that comes out to be on the other side of the boundary before it's set. Welcome, dear Bubbles. You just got back from the doctor. Turns out you're going to live for another 50 and 60 years. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah. What a dire prognosis. Let's continue reading from the 22nd Yukti in this modern interpretation and commentary of the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. As always, I'll read the Sanskrit, the English interpretation, and then we'll pull out one of the Sanskrit words and use that as the seed for the meditation practice it invokes. Without further ado, here is the 45th verse overall in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Purshta shunyam mula shunyam hrshunyam bhavayet sthiram yogapan nirvikalpatvan nirvikalpodayastataha. Behind the spine is infinity. Below the perineum, invisible pulsating roots open downward into space. The heart is as wide as a spiral galaxy. Steadily consider back, root, heart, and know the living body of vastness that you are. The word of the verse is sthira. Sthira. S-T-H-I-R-A. Tira. Sthira. Wait a second. I noticed that the Devanagari is spelled wrong, I think. Only I would notice these things. Just making sure I've got it. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah, so it is spelled S-T-H-I-R-A. In the Devanagari, they have an extra T at the beginning. Sthira. This is a word that can mean many things, as all Sanskrit words do. It can mean firm, hard, solid, compact, strong, fixed, immovable, motionless, still, calm, not wavering or tottering, steady, unfluctuating, taking courage, kept secret, faithful, trustworthy, firmly resolved to, settled, ascertained, undoubted, sure, certain, a kind of meter, a name of Shiva, certain zodiac signs, the earth. The practice, take courage, sthira, take heart, hrd, that you are permeated with infinite space everywhere, and you still exist. Get interested in the sense of spacious freedom permeating your spine, the area between your legs and your heart. As you enter this feeling, find your way into steadiness. This is a shunya meditation, inviting you to firmly sit down on emptiness. Well, I skipped a line. Inviting you to firmly sit down on nothing, but you are emptiness, sitting, standing, or lying down on emptiness. The back is space. The area between your legs is flooded with space. The heart pulsates in spaciousness. Cultivate this feeling steadily, firmly. Develop these experiences, then meditate on them spontaneously. Yugapad. As you develop the ability to perceive your heart and spine as space, and to be with them as space, allow the coexistence also of both empty space and the appearance of matter. You don't need to deny the solid nature of your spine. You are just contemplating that everything is made out of emptiness. A beautiful, clear feeling arises as a result. That's the 22nd yukti. The 23rd goes like this. Tanu deshe shunyataiva kshana matram vibhavayet nirvikalpam nirvikalpo nirvikalpa swarupa bhak. Forget all of your ideas about the body. It's this way or it's that way. Just be within any area of it. This present body as permeated with limitless space, drenched in freedom. The word of the verse is nirvikalpa. 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 It means not admitting an alternative or free from change or differences. It can mean admitting no doubt, not wavering, or free from thoughts. The practice, the yukti here is simple and direct. Even if, for just a moment, you experience the body as free and open space, you become free. For example, put an arm out in front of you, and then take a full 5 minutes to bring your hand to touch your heart. Slow, subtle movement, if you choose. It can be so interesting that your mind becomes free of thought. The word used for this lack of thought is shunya, which means, among other things, empty, void, hollow, non-existent, bare, naked, space, heaven, atmosphere. The sense of shunya can happen at times of transition, such as falling asleep or waking from a nap, getting out of a shower, anytime. It can happen in between any two thoughts. Enter the space between thoughts and experience your body as a void. In that brief moment, you will become free, one with your original form, your swarupa. One day I was sitting on the sofa meditating and idly wondering about this verse. Then suddenly, I was inside the experience it is referring to. In a moment, I dissolved into void space heaven. It felt heavenly and totally normal. I was at home in the universe. Then I beamed into being myself again, back into my body, feeling very refreshed. Somehow, wondering about this sutra and thinking it in Sanskrit took me right inside. I needed access to this freedom. Entering the space between thoughts can occur at almost any time, spontaneously, in moments of grace, beauty, or love, but also in times of loss and shock. We go there any time we need to renew ourselves in our essence. That is the 23rd yukti. Let's read one more. Sarvam deha gatam dravyam vyad vyaptam mrgekshane vibhavaye tatastasya bhavana sa sthira bhavet. Apologies on my pronunciation. This body is made of earth and gold, sky and stars, rivers and oceans, masquerading as muscle and bone. Every substance here is diamonds and silver, magical elixirs, ambrosia that gives visions, herbs that nourish and heal, the foundation of the planet, immortal magnetic iron circulating in the blood. Every element in you loves the others. Earth loves rain. Sky loves sun. Sun loves the space it shines through. Space loves everyone equally. In meditation, luxuriate in knowing this deep and simple truth. Every cell is an organ of sense infused with majesty. The word of the verse is bhavana. 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 It can mean a demonstration, an argument, an ascertainment, feeling of devotion, faith in, reflection, contemplation, saturating any powder with fluid, steeping, infusion, in arithmetic, finding by combination or composition, or the morale of a fable. Bhavana. The practice, bhavana, has the remarkable meaning of infusion as when you are making tea, infusing an herb in alcohol, making a medicine to drink, or soaking yourself in a quality you love and need. To practice a bhavana meditation, think of a quality you would love to be permeated by and soak in it. Steeping, infusion, you can think of this in various ways. One is making tea or coffee. You have some quality you want, the tea leaves or the ground coffee, and you mix it with water and let it sit. Voila! You have something new. Not just plain water, not just dry leaves or beans, but this magical drink. Sometimes we do this process just for joy. Infusion also has a medicinal aspect. We can infuse special herbs with water and make a tea that balances our body energies. An infusion has a meaning of a continuous slow introduction of a solution into the body. There is a quality you need or crave, and by meditating on it, you slowly, gently, continuously introduce it into the body and introduce your body to it. Let's go over the instructions for a bhavana meditation again. First, think of 1, 2, or 3 qualities you would love to be infused with. Ask within yourself, what would I love to be infused with? What kind of energy? What quality of being? You could write these words in your journal. Your words might be quite different from one another, such as power, peace, love, or excitement, stability, clarity. Second, give yourself a chance to love each word leisurely. Bond with the word. Let your body be at home with it. Third, develop a rhythm of leisurely thinking of each word, and then pausing to feel it resonating in you. Like when you drop a pebble into a pond, watch the ripples. You might think one of your words every 10 or 20 seconds, so it takes a full minute to think all three. Get used to this rhythm. The word, the feeling of the word, the sensations and imagery, the silence after the word, and then the next word. You can meditate in this way for 5, 10, or 20 minutes a day. That's it. You're all set. You can do this with any quality you love or are devoted to or have faith in. Those are the 3 meditation practices today, the 3 yuktis that you may draw inspiration from. Embodying space. Wow, there was 2 of them that had to do with embodying space in different ways. But I really like that last one of being like a tea bag. Make yourself into an herbal infusion. What a great meditation that is. Thank you very much for listening. That concludes our Shravana portion of our Sangha, dedicated to listening. I'm glad we could listen to that together. And we can transition to Manana, the section fully dedicated to Q&A. We can explore whatever's in our hearts and minds, especially if there's any insights from that reading that you wanted to explore together. I welcome everyone that joined while we were reading too. Thank you, dear Artie, for the heart me that you sent. Bhanuve Namaha. Dearest Franklin, thank you for your heart me and ice cream cone as well. Pushne Namaha. Oh, I hear a thunderous applause for the background music. This must have been recorded live. That's nice. Thank you for sharing that. Someone needs advice, dear Kim. Amor. Let me scroll up. Thank you. It's taking a while to scroll up. Scrolling. I think I see part of your message. You share you don't know if you should hide or what to do. You've gotten threats. You don't feel that you're in a safe place. But you feel safe here. I'm glad to hear that. If there's other parts of that story, please tell me. If you don't feel safe, become even scarier than that which threatens you. That's the power of Kali. If another person is acting crazy, make them crazy for messing with you. Become the very thing that they fear most. That's Kali. When Kali is threatened, when the feminine is threatened, she turns into Kali. Or she doesn't run away, she runs towards her enemy. Situation varying. Kali is the form of the feminine, where you go to attack her, and she whoops your butt in return for even thinking of such a thing. I don't recommend this form of the feminine for all times. However, under duress, under threat, absolutely you may call upon Kali. Yeah. Know that Kali, the power of the feminine within you, is scarier than anything else. So when you have the power of the most scariest thing, then why should you be afraid of anything else? If that doesn't feel appropriate for the situation, then yeah, get out of there. If you're not in a safe place, then why do you have to stay there? If there are other places for you to go to which are safer, yeah, take advantage of that. You don't have to stick around in familiar environments if they're not safe. If there's abuse, if there's some form of harm there. Even if you have history with that location, it's no longer home the moment it becomes abusive. Your home is wherever you are safe, so either create that through the power of Kali, or trust in your intuition and let it lead you to where you need to go. Home is where love lives. I love that, guided by Luna. I'm happy that resonated with you, dear Amor. You move in 2 months. Just have to survive until the apartment is ready to move into. Sounds like you just take it a day at a time then. Yeah. Thank you, dear Luna, for your heart me and yippee! Dear Tatomasi, thank you for your quintet of roses. Hiranyagarbhaya Namaha. Dear Mel, you share, according to some Vedanta voices, meditation is no longer necessary once the higher self is recognized. What do I think? How shall I put this? Reveling in the higher self is what it means to meditate. But most of us don't know how to meditate. And what we're really doing is preparing for meditation. Sitting with your legs crossed, eyes closed, focusing on your breath, that's not meditation. That is preparing for meditation. But it often gets called meditation because that's the practice that invites meditation. True meditation is what you speak of, the realization of the higher self. Once you're done preparing for that realization, then it's constant. Then every moment becomes your meditation. When you are waking, when you are dreaming, when you are sleeping, you are meditating. When you are breathing, when you are eating, when you are thinking, you are meditating. When you are singing, when you are dancing, when you are loving, you are meditating. When you are walking, when you are sitting, when you are running, you are meditating. When you are working, when you are playing, when you are leisuring, you are meditating. True meditation is not something you finally let go of. It's something you do forever in everything that comes your way. But there is no end to self-realization. We can always be better students, no matter how much of a master we are. Thank you, dear Truth Seeker, for your heart me. Marichaye Namaha. Hello, dear Jack. Things are going well, thank you. How are you? Thank you, Logan. You're very welcome, dear Mel. Any beauty that exists within my soul exists within yours too, dear amor. Beauty is universal to the soul. Thank you, dear Joanne, for your rose. Adityaya Namaha. Dear Kim, you ask, do I believe in the connection between meditation and levitation, or is it a metaphor? Yeah, why not both? It's a metaphor until you levitate, and then the levitation is a symbolism of all of its precursor meaning. I think we go through 3 stages in spiritual symbolism. The first stage is taking something literally. Yes, eventually you will physically lift off the ground when you meditate. And then the next stage is, no. It's symbolic. By levitating, we are rising higher, going beyond our earthly identification. That's definitely a higher stage of understanding. But I think we go full circle eventually. Such great beings, siddhas, they can physically manifest their achievement through such spiritual symbolism. So they actually start physically levitating. But after they have realized the symbolism of levitation, that the symbolism of levitation is what we said, transcending your earthly identifications. But if you strive just for the physical, you'll never attain the symbolic. And if you don't attain the symbolic, then the physical definitely won't ever come. So you should strive for the symbolic, and who knows, the physical may come with that too. This is the beauty of spiritual symbolism. It often comes full circle. In the beginning, we see a form of the divine as a historical figure. Then we see it as an inner aspect of ourself. And then something truly miraculous happens. That a part of our inner self was a historical figure. Or that a historical figure became part of our inner self. So that there's truth in both perspectives simultaneously. And that's where the magic happens. Thank you, dear Trevor, for the heart me that you send. Om Savitri Namah. Dear guided by Luna, thank you for the friendship necklace. Om Arkaya Namah. Hello, dear Rebecca. Dear Amor Fati, you ask, do I believe in energy orbs? Your profile pic is one you took of yourself. It's beautiful. I don't know what you specifically refer to when you say energy orbs. If something is true for anyone, then there is a way of finding truth in that, I believe. For anyone else, our experiences might appear to be disjoint, but there's always common ground if we find the shared vocabulary. What you describe as an energy orb might be described as a chakra in Sanskrit. And there are chakras in our body, out of our body, all around our bodies. What a beautiful word, Jack. You are splendiferous whenever you are in this ephemeral internet space with me. Thank you for being part of it. Dear Guided by Luna, you had asked, what is my favorite thing on planet Earth? Well, I'd have to go with Earth herself. My favorite thing about Earth is Earth. And there are so many things that I love about her. I love her oceans. I love her lands. I love her skies. I love her creatures. I love her rocks. I love her soil. I love her clouds. I love her rains. Am I religious at all? Asks Lokim. It certainly depends what we mean by the word religious. I don't consider myself a part of any religion, nor do I feel like I have any practices that are considered religious. There are things that I voluntarily do out of my spiritual practice that may be a part of other people's religious experience. But I don't consider myself religious unless we use the term religious in a more liberal way. If we simply mean religion is the conscious effort towards salvation, liberation, or enlightenment for not just ourselves but everyone, and the pursuit of truth in that source within all of life, including ourselves, then yes, I think we're all a part of that, whether we know it or not. What's my favorite mantra? Asks Emilio. I could never pick a favorite mantra. I'm not a favorite kind of person. I try to love everything as much as I can. If I have a favorite anything, it means I'm not doing a good job loving everything as much as I can. Imagine having a favorite child. You'd be a terrible parent. If you have a favorite child, it means you could do a lot better of a job of being a parent. Clearly one of them isn't getting enough love. So too, if I have a favorite color, it means one of the colors isn't getting enough love. I gotta give some more love to some other colors then. If I have a favorite mantra, then I'm not giving enough love to other mantras. Anything in this life. If I favor one thing more than another, I put it on a hierarchy all of a sudden. I think in this age it's time to deconstruct hierarchies both externally and internally. And our personal preferences can be a kind of limiting hierarchy too. But all mantras can be equally potent. You can absolutely specialize with one and chant just that one mantra. That's very powerful. And it's sad that you gain the siddhi, the power of a mantra, when you chant it 1 lakh, which is 100,000 per syllable. So if your mantra is 1 syllable, then when you chant that mantra 100,000 times, you will gain the power in that mantra. And there is a specific power or siddhi within every mantra. For very long mantras, my goodness, can you imagine the power contained within them if you chanted it 100,000 times per syllable? Welcome, dear BZD. Do I have a guru? Asks Apollo. There's no one in particular in my life that identifies as my guru, but I see myself as a student of all gurus, including you. Dear Anglo-Arab, you ask, do I think salvation, liberation, and enlightenment are the same thing? I see the truth in that they are an overlap of many different religions. What may be called as salvation in one religion may be called as liberation in another, or enlightenment. But these are words that can have many different meanings, or we could have the same meaning in different words. Thank you, dear Hairspray Betty, for the floating octopus. Bhaskaraya Namaha. Dear Jackie, thank you for your tiny yippee. Dear Kim, you ask, could it also not be what makes you? Could it not also be what makes you an individual to have a personal preference? Similar to how you might be drawn to a person in relationship with how or how you enjoy food more than another. You speak of truth, a parallel truth, not in contradiction to what we were talking about. There are two types of preferences. There's just preferences in the moment, which can change throughout your life. Like, for example, you might feel very called to love the color red right now. But that may have been different when you were younger, and it may be different when you're older. But does that define you? Are you defined by anything temporary? You are the eternal. You have a temporary existence in this body, in this mind. You are beyond these things, ultimately. In the moment, you're absolutely welcome to give love to the color red more than any other color. But not as a defining feature of you, but because your eternal journey is to give love to all colors. And so for this part of your journey, you give love to the color red. In the next part of your journey, you give love to another color. That kind of preference is an evolution of your eternal journey. And yes, where each part of us are in our eternal journeys are what makes these bodies and minds unique. And that individuality is beautiful. But because you love the color red right now, does that mean you don't have more love waiting for you to be given to other colors later? We will always be changing our preferences in that way through time. Does that make sense? Thank you, the Flower Power Path, for your heart meme. Kameshwaryay Namaha. Danny, thank you for your heart meme. Bhagamalinyay Namaha. Kelly, you ask, would I spread myself thin in my effectiveness by trying to love everything equally? No. Loving everything equally means loving any particular thing one-pointedly, sequentially. It doesn't mean trying to balance your love simultaneously. It means that in each moment, you give your love to something new. And you're welcome to return. Giving love to everything equally is something very challenging to understand. Because it doesn't mean that in any moment your awareness is perfectly homogeneous. You can love everything equally, but through time, just as we were talking about with the colors, that in this moment, I love the color red, but in the next moment, you may love the color green. That is what it means to love every color equally, is you go through them all. So you don't make yourself thin at all. You make yourself very deep, giving your love one-pointedly to each thing. Like that. Does that make sense? Hello, dear Jackie. How can you learn these mantras, dear Nikki? You can ask me about them. I'd be happy to teach you them. Where do I come from? Cher asks Mariki. I come from the land down under. No, just kidding. I come from a mom. I came from a mother. And I came from her while my mother was in Calgary, Alberta. Yes, definitions and specific contexts matter a lot, dear Adam. Yeah. Dear Tatomasi, you share you had 2 doses of neem last night. You forgot one. And this morning your heartbeat stayed at 52 for long. Made you dizzy and anxious. Not sure if it was the neem, but that was the only thing different you can remember. So, the lesson is, neem is great when you want to meditate in the morning. Not great when you need to be engaged in exertion physically. Dear Jason, you had asked, is there a good meditation that you can do when you try to go to sleep? You can do yoga nidra. That's the yoga of sleep, actually. One very simple practice in yoga nidra is to place your hand over your heart. And on the inhale, you mentally recite or you listen to the sound of your breath. Make so. And on the exhale, you hear the sound hum. So hum. So hum. So, coming from the sandhi of the visarga, the expulsion of breath at the end of the sound, saha, interacting with the akara at the beginning of aham. Saha means that. Aham means I am. So hum means that I am. You put your hand on your heart on the inhale. That. On the exhale, I am. That I am. So hum. And thank you, dear Oren, for the heart me that you sent. Nitya Klinaya Namaha. Dear Emilio, you ask, how can you properly meditate? You don't. The moment you think that one form of meditation is proper and another form is improper, then you're not meditating, you're thinking about meditating. Meditation is like sleep. You can't force sleep to come, but there's all sorts of things that you can do to prepare for sleep to come. And it may be different for the individual. Some people prefer to sleep when the room is cold. Some people prefer it a little more warm. Some people like the window open. Some people like it closed. Some people like a night light on. Some people like it completely dark. Some people like all their lights on. Some people like to listen to music as they fall asleep. Some people prefer silence. Some people prefer a fan on. Some people don't. So what's the proper way to fall asleep if everyone has so many different practices for falling asleep? Well, it's not the practice itself then. It's whatever helps you get into that state of sleep. You know more than anyone what works for you and what doesn't work for you. There is no set of practices for meditation that works for everyone. Some people prefer mantra japa. Some people prefer trataka. That is to say, some people prefer chanting. Some people prefer staring at a fixed point. Some people prefer nirvikalpa, nothingness. Some people prefer savikalpa, everythingness. Some people prefer walking meditation. Some people prefer various asanas and seats. You explore the various kinds and you discover for yourself what works best for you. That is proper. Forcing yourself into a meditation that doesn't help you in any way, that's not proper. Trust in your own unique your physiology and psychology. We all have unique ones. Thank you, Carrie Lou, for your heart meme. Bhairundaya Namah. I'm glad you like your ashwagandha mango tea, dear Kim. Dear the Matrix I Am, you ask, do I follow a specific path or dogma? I don't follow any path. I'm just happy to be here. And my happiness is the path. Dear Amelia, you ask, how can you stop caring what others think of you? You can never stop caring about anything. What you can do is give care to the other places to balance that out. You're allowed to care what other people think, but are you giving care to what you think? What do you really think about this? If it concerns something to do with your body and your mind, well, yes, you can value input from others. How your body and how your mind engages with others, it's good to take input on that from the outside. But when you are just being yourself through this body and mind, do you care about what you think about how you are? Because you should know more than anyone how you are on the inside. And that's what matters when it comes to your inner world. So it's not about not caring about others. It's about caring about yourself. Balancing that care from an inward place too. You're welcome, Emilio. Of course, dear Jason. And thank you, the Flower Power Path, for your floating octopus. Kelly, you ask how to balance the rajas, the guna, the quality of passion, when your kids test the depths of your patience and a break is not possible. One thing that I'm very grateful for my mother for is that she would find a way to take breaks with me. So she never told me to go take a nap. She would say, do you want to take a nap with me? And then together we'd go and take a nap. She never told me to go and meditate. She said, do you want to meditate with me? And we'd go and meditate. It was never, you need to get some fresh air. It was, do you want to get some fresh air with me? So when my mom needed a break, she included me in the break. And I found that so remarkable in hindsight. What wisdom that was as a parent. It was never about getting space from your children. It was about including your children in the space that you need. And it worked. I'm so blessed to have the mother I do. So don't take a break from your kids. Let you and your kids take a break together. Thank you, dear Helena, for your finger heart, your ice cream cone, and quintet of roses. Vajreshwaryay Namah. Thank you for the octopus, dear Jackie. Namaste, Becca. Hello, Helena. I believe in you, dear Hilaraya. I trust in your ways. You got this. Dear Spinudha, you ask, do I think we express ourselves to prove we exist? Absolutely. Yes. Our self-expression is the proof of our existence. That is why the universe exists at all. So that source can say, I am, through all of us. Suni, you ask, would I trust the devil? The devil is not a term that I use in my vocabulary. If I can, I choose an alternative for what this word often represents. To me, the devil represents selfishness. So the question is, would I trust selfishness? Well, we all sometimes are a little selfish. And that's a part of the journey of understanding how to take care of this body and mind and balance that with our responsibilities for other bodies and minds. And when you look at it that way, it's no longer about a force of good versus evil. It's about balancing our selfishness with our selflessness, taking care of this body and mind as we would take care of other bodies and minds, and vice versa. And I would trust that no matter how much I engage in selfishness, I'm always going to be unfulfilled, because I know that my duties here are to satisfy not just this body and this mind, but all bodies and minds as a part of the life that we share. I trust that all of our journeys are slowly moving towards that maxim. And it takes time. And sometimes we take a step back in order to take 2 steps forward. We are allowed to be stumbling in our way up the mountain. And what's waiting at the top of the mountain is a form of selflessness that balances taking care of this body and this mind, and taking care of all bodies and minds. Thank you, dear Orin, for your subscription. Shiva Dutyai Nama. Dear Anisak, thank you for your heart meme. Twaritaya Nama. And Dancing Aurora Borealis, thank you for your swan. Nityaya Nama. Thank you, dear Sharon. Take care, dear Oren. Mel, you ask, if I was in front of a great enlightened Rishi and I could ask only one question, what would it be? I would ask, what is the funniest joke that you can think of? Just because that in itself would be hilarious. To have a seer of truth before you, and the most pressing question on your mind is, got any good jokes? Because I know the Rishis have a great sense of humor. And you know what their answer probably would be? The Rishi would say, "O noble-minded one, who has crossed many rivers to get to where I am, who has suffered great consequences in order to find yourself before the feet of an enlightened master, I shall tell you the funniest joke that has ever been. It goes like this. One day, there was a man, and that man was destined to one day meet an enlightened master. They had to struggle to be able to have that appearance before them. And in that one lifetime where they got to ask any possible question about themselves, the universe, or the cosmic relationship between the two, this person simply asked, "What is the funniest joke?" And that is the funniest joke. Hari Om Tat Sat. Boom! And then the Rishi disappears into light. And then you're left sitting there like, oh my god. What have I done? Thank you, dear SJ, for your heart mate. Nilapata Kinyai Namah. Right, Jason? Come back. No, I want to ask a different question now. But the funny part is you don't get another question. Thank you, Hilaraya, for the heart me that you sent. Kula Sundariyai Namah. What kind of religion is this? Asks Sven. This is the religion of our shared humanity. Ancient as it is, new as it will always be. No particular path or creed the Sangha follows, other than the one we are all already on. Thank you, Hilaraya, for your heart. Sarva Mangalaya Namah. Now I have a question for you all. This is my question of the day. It's honestly a very boring question of the day. I've had much more interesting questions of the day. Today my question of the day is, when we are meant to stay firm, what is the symbolism? Obviously, it doesn't literally mean turning into something that's firm like a rock. So what is hidden underneath this common saying of staying firm? What is the symbolism there? And the answer doesn't have to be deep. It can be hiding in plain sight. Simple answers are absolutely allowed. And there's no particular answer that I'm looking for. Firm means strengths, shares Ekrem. Well put. Yeah. Staying true to our boundaries. I like that, shares Hilaraya. Taylor, you share being in unison with all the metaphors and realities of firm. Well, can't argue with that. Let's explore some of those metaphors and realities. Tattvamasi, you share that you shouldn't be moved by everyday highs and lows. I like that. It's a great analogy. Dear SX Jad X, someone with a beautiful Arabic name, you ask, what is the purpose of life? Why are you asking me? I just got here. I don't know. Still figuring that out with all of you. Not budging, shares Anne. Not budging, non-wavering, shares Sandra. Celeste, you share firmness. Respect your boundaries. They show you your values. I like that. Evelyn, you share. You picture a plank of wood. Firm but slight bend to it. Interesting. I like that actually, yeah. That's good. Breathing into peace with grace. Oh, that's beautiful, SJ. Yeah. Crossfires you share like a soldier or a tree. That's good symbolism. Yona, you share being true to and with ourselves is being firm. I feel that. Being content with what you have. Oh, that's beautiful, Jason. Thank you, Hilaraya. All my beauty is yours. Take it. Dear Kelly, you share being faithful or loyal to something. Boundaries, values, and other things mentioned. I like that. Faith, faithfulness, loyalty. I love all of these. Being completely truthful. That's beautiful, Emma. I like that. If a tree doesn't bend, it will break. I like that. Yeah. It reflects being rooted, shares Sven. Stable and connected to your values or truth. I love that. Yeah. That's good. Couple different metaphors surrounding trees. Ooh. Hello, Blair. Dancing Aurora Borealis, you share unwavering dedication to what you believe in. I love that, yes. Yeah, I see the truth in that. A bow and arrow, shares Crossfires. I see the symbolism in that as well. Yeah. Thank you. These are beautiful. What amazing symbolism. Thank you, everyone. I'm happy with pausing the question of the day there for now. If anyone has any more they want to share, you're welcome to. But I like the underlying essence I think we've all pointed to, which is being constant in some part of ourselves. Abiding in those parts of ourselves which are constant. Our strength, maybe even our humility, our respect in our boundaries, our values, being rooted in these truths. Faith, shares Anasek. Thank you. Always happy to explore these questions of the day with all of you. Reminds me how I don't need to go and seek out an enlightened Rishi when I see so much enlightening qualities within the seers of all of you. The seers that are all of you. Thank you, Nath. I very much enjoyed this live stream thus far. There's just one more thing I'd like to do in this space with you before we end, and that's to do a mantra meditation together. So let's transition to our final segment known as Nidra. If you're interested in sticking around and chanting an ancient language together, you're welcome to stay. Otherwise, I wish you well. And I love that addition, Ben, to the question of the day. Consistency. Being firm. A temporal firmness, that is. Thank you, dear Roxy. Let me set up our mantra. We're continuing to go through the Kamika Agama, an ancient Dravidian text, in the second chapter of which the meanings behind all the Sanskrit sounds, their associated form of the divine, their color, what they're able to grant or give him. And today's sound is ja. Ja. It looks like this. Ja. There's the sound in both Devanagari and the International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration, or IAST. We've expanded it into a mantra. The mantra is Jam Jambhabhide Namah. Salutations to Jambhabhid. Who is Jambhabhid? Well, Jambha means the devourer. It's the name of an asura, a demon. And Bhid means slayer. So Jambhabhid means the slayer of the devourer. It's a name given to Indra, which is a Vedic, a very ancient form of the divine, which represents the illumined mind. And so this mantra celebrates the illumined mind conquering the devourer. And the devourer is, of course, our egoic desires, our selfish tendencies for wanting to consume, to gain power in this world. You can see how in the name Jambhabhide, or well, that's the dative form, which means to Jambhabhid, we have that root ja. Altogether again, I've given some pronunciation pointers. For example, the O is long, the A is long as well. The H with a dot under it at the end of Namaha, which is known as the Visarga, the expulsion of breath. It's like a mini exhale, Namaha. We have an H in front of two different B's here. That is a breathy B. Ba, ba, Jambhabhide. Finally, we have an M with a dot under it, which marks a nasalization 3 different times at the end of the bijas and in the middle of the word Jambha. It is a anuswara, an inner sound, a resonance in the highest cavity. Om Jam Jambhabhide Namah. We'll chant it 108 times together. And to do so, I will use the help of a mala, which I forgot to get. It's right behind the camera. Malas are used as a tool in meditation to keep your focus, and also so that you count a fixed number of repetitions by starting on the Guru bead and ending with the Guru bead too. I'll begin now. Om Jam Jambhabhide Namah. 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 Aum Jam Jambhabhide Nama. 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 Salutations to Indra, the form of the divine in the sky, representing illumined mind, the slayer of the demon Jambha. May we too slay our own inner demons that seek to devour for the sake of control or power. May we find victory. Thank you for meditating and chanting along with us. That concludes our live stream for today. So thank you everyone for participating. Thank you, dear Suni, for your bubblegum and your quintet of friendship necklaces. Sadyoja tam prapadyami sadyoja taya vai namo namah bhave bhave nati bhave bhavaswa mam bhavod bhavaya namah. Sazra, thank you for your heart meme. Jwala Malinyai Namaha. Dear Pressure in Time UK, thank you for your pair of roses. Vamadevaya Namo Jeshtaya Namah Shreshtaya Namo Rudhraya Namah Kalaya Namah Kalavikarnaya Namo Balaya Namo Balavikarnaya Namo Balapramathanaya Namah Sarva Bhuta Damanaya Namo Manonmanaya Namaha. Thank you, Anasek, for your quintet of roses. Aghorebhyo taghorebhyo aghora ghore dharebhya sarvatah sharva sarvebhyo namaste rudra rupebhya. Thank you, Tamar, for your heart me and septet of roses. Tatpurushaya vidmahe mahadevaya dhimahi tanno rudra prachodayat. And inevitable, thank you for your nonet of roses and paper crane. Ishan sarva vidyanam ishwar sarva bhutanam brahmadipati brahmanodhipatir brahma shivo me astu sa eva sada shiva om. Hello and goodbye, dear Astrid. Thank you for being here, the Flower Power Path. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my lovely moderators for helping keep the peace. If there's anything I can do to make this space more inclusive for you or anyone next time, please let me know. I hope to be a more humble host next time. You can hold me accountable to that. And may this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor mamritangamaya. Shanti 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 harihi tatsat. They're changed. You ask, do I know they just go to the toilet wherever they like in India and they don't wipe either? That is an overgeneralization, and although it is true that many systems in India have been wiped out since the colonialist times, do also know, did you know, that India was actually the first civilization to create the sewer system? Thousands of years before any other civilization had toilets, India had toilets and the sewer system. Unfortunately, due to mostly Western influence, such as the colonization of India during the British Raja, many of those wonderful systems got wiped out and many people were forced back into poverty. It's a great shame to a great part of the world. One that has given this world so many wonderful spiritual benefits. And even though some parts of it may seem impoverished, they are some of the most spiritually enlightened cultures on the planet. And I'm so grateful to even live on the same planet as those people. Thank you, dear Roxy, for your heart me. Namah Karlim Ambita me Shrim Nadita me Harim Devita me I'm Saraswatyai Swaha. Dear Dob Darker, thank you for your heart me. Bhurn Bhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayat. Dear Shakira, thank you for your heart me. Narayanaya vidmahe Vasudevaya dhimahi Tanno Vishnu prachodayat. May you all have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.